Okay, I'm going to take you into a totally different world in this version of the No Money Real Estate podcast. I'm going to talk about emotions today. You hear me saying all the time in these videos that when you're doing real estate, you got to keep your emotions out of the business and underwrite the deals and let all the numbers help dictate what deals you do and what deals you don't. I always say keep your emotions out of it. Well, today I'm going to talk about when you need your emotions to control your thoughts and your actions. We're going to get into it right after this.
Hey, my name's Ken Dunn, and I'm a real estate investor. I want to welcome you to the No Money Real Estate Podcast. On this show, I'm going to interview elite level real estate investors from all over North America. And I'm going to help you to see one thing that all successful real estate investors have in common. They built their portfolios without using a dime of their own money. I've got a portfolio of $300 million in real estate. That includes resorts, apartment buildings, commercial buildings, and I built the entire portfolio without using a dime of my own money. Real estate is a business that anybody can get into, but the strategies that those tight real estate investors use to build massive portfolios have been kept secret for decades. Now, because of this show, I'm going to reveal them to you. So let's get started.
Well, this is an unusual time where I actually get to sit back and think. And I find myself doing this a lot on Sundays as I'm hanging out around the house. And I just became overwhelmed with this idea of sharing some thoughts with you around emotions in real estate investing. You've heard me saying in videos and on this podcast over the last couple of years that the biggest mistake that people make is letting their emotions get involved in their real estate decisions. And I stand by those words, but there is a time when your emotions need to control what you're doing and your emotions need to dictate what you do. And I want to talk to you in detail about this and just help you to realize the revelation that I've had over the last couple of days, why my businesses are going to succeed over the long term. It's because of my emotions. It's because of how emotionally attached it is to everything that I'm doing. But before I get too deep into that, let's review the predecessor. Let's review when your emotions shouldn't be involved in this. If you're involved in real estate investing, especially if you're newer to real estate, if you're just getting into it, your emotions are going to get into what you're trying to do. It's going to be hard not to because you're so excited about the future. Most people, when they're first getting started in real estate investing, they realize the freedom that this opportunity could give them. You start buying rental properties or you start getting some short-term rentals, you get extra cash flow coming in. There's going to be a day when you're able to walk away from the job that you're tired of because of the money you're making with your real estate portfolio. When you start thinking about that and over obsessing about it, you're going to become emotional. That's going to drive your decisions on what you're doing. This is why it's so important for you to get involved in a mastermind group if you're going to do real estate investing and learn the way the experts do it. Learn the way the most sophisticated real estate investors build their portfolios. And here's what you're going to find. You're going to find that math dictates their decisions. It's called underwriting. Whenever I take a look at a real estate deal, it doesn't matter if it's a house flip that we want to flip and make a couple $100,000, or if it's a short-term rental where we're looking for that long-term short-term rental income, or if it's a major commercial project like a resort or apartment building. When you're underwriting a deal, you've got to follow the four principles. You've got to go out and find a property under value. And you've got to use real estate agents and comparable sales in the markets in recent times to figure out if that really is a great value. Once you do that, before you put an offer in, you got to underwrite the deal. That means doing the math. So if I'm doing a simple house flip, I'm going to look at what I'm paying for the property now. Then I'm going to look at what I'm going to do to renovate that property, the money I'm going to put into it. What do I want to do? I want to put a new kitchen in. I want to put new flooring in. I want to put new windows and doors on. I want to put a new roof on it. Well, all that stuff costs money. I'm going to figure out what that budget is, and then I'm going to go back to my real estate agent again. And remember, this is before I even put an offer in on the property. And I'm going to say to my real estate agent, if I do all this work to this property, I'm going to give them a copy of my budget. I'm going to say, go out there and find me some comparables. Houses of this quality that have sold lately. Tell me what they sold for. Well, I'll take the average of 3 comparables and I'll use that as like a benchmark for what I think the property is going to be worth afterwards. And that's where I'm going to make my decision if I'm going to buy the property or not. If, let's say I'm buying a flip for $400,000 and I put $100,000 into it, so now I've got $500,000 into it, and I probably have an interest reserve as well because I don't pay the interest, the money does. So let's say I'm into it for $550,000 and I get comparables, the agent comes back to me and says, hey, when this place is finished, there's houses just like that are selling for 800 grand. So that means it's a good deal. Because 800 might be high, maybe the market changes, but even if it sells for 700 and I'm into it a total of 550,000, I'm going to make 150 grand. And even if something goes wrong and I got to put more money into it, I'm still going to make 100 grand. So that's underwriting. That makes sense. So then when I put the offer in to buy the property, I'm going to get an appraiser in and I'm going to give them my budgets and tell them what I'm going to do. And I'm going to ask them to do an ARV value appraisal, an after repair value for the appraisal. So the appraiser will tell me, based on market research and his appraisal standards, this place is going to be worth $800,000 if you do the renovations in 6 months. And then that's what will make me the decision to move forward. And frankly, it's that appraisal that my investors want to see as well. So they want to have confidence that they're going to get their interest payments and their money back on time, right? So that's all underwriting. Especially, I've seen a lot of people who just get into real estate investing and they do a house flip first. They get so focused on they can make 100 grand, they start making stupid decisions. So don't let yourself fall into that emotional trap. Keep your emotions out of it and let the numbers dictate what you're doing. Okay, now, where do your emotions play an important part? Let me explain this to you. This is super important. When I started Cottage Dream Vacation several years ago, I had this dream to build a network of cottages across Canada. And then the pandemic came and I couldn't buy cottages at reasonable prices because the prices shot up through the roof. And that's when a couple real estate agents and the Mr. Wonderful, Kevin O'Leary, Kevin, at an event we were speaking at that I hired Kevin to come speak at, he said to me, you're thinking too small. You should be thinking about cottage resorts. And just a few days after that, I had a couple of real estate agents who came to me and said, hey, I just found this cottage resort. What do you think of looking at it? And the two events were not related at all. Kevin didn't know the real estate agents. The real estate agents didn't know Kevin O'Leary personally, but that told me I should look. And so I started looking at cottage resorts, and now we've got 4 resorts under development. At the time of the recording of this podcast, we're going to have at least 2 of our resorts that are opening this year. It's a really exciting time in our company. But this is where emotions are so important. In setting up this business and deciding to do this, one of the big reasons that I got so excited about building Cottage Dream Vacations and building a company focused on cottages and memories and helping families to fall in love with Canada is because it was such an important part of my personal life. When our kids were younger, we used to rent cottages. We used to go to cottages, and some of our best memories were when they were young and we were at cottages. Now, we didn't get the chance to do it as much as I would have liked to, but it was enough for me to realize those memories are probably the most important thing that I carry with me on a day-to-day basis. Are you getting where I'm going here? It's emotion. It's emotion. And so now, as the business starts to mature, we have big business challenges. We've had cash flow issues, really serious cash flow issues in the last year and a half. I think it's predominantly because of the market that we're in right now and what's happening south of the border with the US presidency. But nonetheless, it's made it incredibly difficult. And I've basically, as the owner of the company, I'm responsible at the end of the day for the money, for paying the bills, for the cash flow. And it's forced me, because of the situation that we're in, to fight, to repay loans, to fight, to drive revenue, to fight, to keep the business going. And I'm going to tell you this straight up, friends. This is where emotion comes in. If I wasn't so emotional about the reason I'm doing this business, if that reason I'm doing this business wasn't so tied to my personal life experiences with my family, and the dream of the future and what my business could do for my family in the future, I don't know if I would have kept going. So it's the emotions that I keep telling you not to let get involved in your business that are actually the reasons that my business is coming through the storm that we're coming through, and that we're gonna succeed and that we're never gonna fail, and we're gonna open these resorts and we're gonna create this unbelievable new level of luxury vacation properties in Canada. It's because of my emotions. It's not because of the logic. It's not because of the underwriting. It's because I'm so excited about this business and I believe so passionately in this business. It's because of my emotional capacity to deal with things and to keep things moving forward. So for everybody who has heard me talking in the past and you hear me saying, keep your emotions out of the business, I have to retract part of that statement with you today. And I'm gonna tell you, you've got to be excited about what you're doing. You've got to be willing to fight through all of the issues that you're going to encounter along the way as you're building your business. Keep your emotions out of the decisions you make with respect to what deals you do and what deals you don't do. Keep your emotions involved in the reason you're doing it in the first place.